Hey guys, and welcome to my very first video. Today I wanted to talk about 5 things I wish I knew before I turned 18. And it might seem a bit weird, and oh bro, there's so much stuff you could have learned. Yes, and there's 1,001 different things that I wish I knew before I turned 18. But I had a think, I was going what are 5 things? If I had to go tell Jasper, I could go back, travel back in time, go tell 15-year-old, 13-year-old Jasper, what are 5 things that he should know before he hits 18 or it gets older? These would be the very 5 things. So I want to talk about them now. The very first thing I wish I knew before I turned 18, and this might seem really self-explanatory and really basic, but was thinking before I speak. And you might be going, oh bro, what a retard, bro. I think before you speak, bro. I'm not watching this, bro. And you swipe off. Yeah, but whatever, go and watch another video. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But thinking before I speak, that's something that I had to learn the hard way in my life. And I had to make many mistakes of saying things that I regretted saying, whether it was to loved ones or family, where I said some really hurtful things that you're like, bro, I shouldn't have said that when you're in the heat of the moment. Or saying it around people, doing certain jokes, certain remarks around people that I shouldn't have been making those jokes and remarks around, which would be fine if I was with other groups of people or different people, but with this group of people I was with, for example, it wasn't the time, it wasn't the place, and I didn't have the judgment. I wasn't able to slow down and go, should I say this? Should I say this about this person? There was a camp that my dad used to work at, an outdoor ed camp, and long story short, there was this group of people who came in. There'd be boys and girls at the camp. I was hanging out with the boys, got on to talking about the girls, and I made some comment about, oh, they're not even that hot, bro. Oh, I'd pass, whatever. I made some comment like that. Long story short, a guy, we'll call him Bobby, he went and told all the girls and went, oh yeah, Jasper said this, bro. Oh, he just said, basically went around saying a bunch of different things to girls and to the guys, and my reputation was absolutely shredded because I said something stupid. No respect from really like anyone at that camp. And I remember going home just going, oh my goodness, like what did I do? All because of one small comment I said. So that'd be what my first point would be: think before you speak. Super basic, but it's something that we can all work on, and something that I've especially had to really learn in my life, often the hard way. Moving on to the second point. The second point that I wish I knew before I turned 18 was look after your body and your health. And again, this might sound really basic and...
Oh, bro, it's so, easy. Yeah, look after your body, how you sound like my mum, bro.
Yes, I guess I do. But it really is crucial. And I only in the last couple of years probably started doing gym, and started doing more than just gym though, and realizing that looking after my sleep and my eating and being consistent with my exercise and something that it's one of the best things you can do for your body, for your mental health, just for longevity. If you're wanting people who live long lives, have regularly, almost all of the time, exercising regularly and looking after their bodies, eating well. And I think for a while I wasn't worried about my body until whatever, and then you start kind of getting to 15, which it was for me, and you kind of start noticing females and everything's happening and changing, whatever, and you're wanting to attract them, and you're like, oh well, how do I get girls? It's one of those things. I'm gonna make a video on that later too. And how do I get girls? Oh yeah, bro, abs. I remember when I first started off working out, I had a fair bit of body. I wasn't massively overweight, but you definitely couldn't see my abs or anything. I wasn't super happy with it. Obviously, I had nothing on the bone, no meat on the bone. And I remember just going, oh, how do I get women? Oh, abs. And I didn't focus on any other muscle group. I was just doing crunches and just doing the heaps of them, and leg raises and all this. And it was so funny because obviously, as you can imagine, you get no women, and working out has got very little to do with women per se, and more about they want someone who's looking after their body, and there's plenty. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, for me, I started off like that, and it was a big image thing. And 100%, I love working out, and I definitely a healthy person, a person who looks after their body, is 1000% more attractive to most people compared to someone who doesn't care about their body. And looking after your body and health also, I would say, includes things like vaping, smoking, doing drugs, that kind of thing. It sounds super basic, and you're like, oh, what a goody two shoes, bro. And I've tried those different things, and I've kind of found out, I personally think they're overrated. And in the end, you look at the people who are really hooked on those things, and the people who hit 40 and they've been addicted to those things, and you go, is that really where I want to be when I hit 40, halfway through my life? 40 years old is when a lot of people are already millionaires, they've got amazing families, beautiful partner, all that kind of thing. Is that really where I want to be when you look at some of those people who've been addicted to weed from when they were young, or who are like ciggy smokers, what it does to you financially, a million different reasons on why you should look after your health. So that's my second point. Look after your body, look after your health, make sure your food you're getting in is good for you, is whole foods, not just potato chips, you know. I don't want to say you just eat broccoli or something, you need more than that. But yeah, anyway, focus on your health. A third point. Leave dating after high school. And this is a controversial one because there's a lot of people who don't like that. And they're like, oh, well, if I want to date someone, if I want to do something, why shouldn't I do it? And that's the attitude about a lot of things. Oh, why shouldn't I go have sex unprotected? I don't know. Oh, I feel like it. Oh, why shouldn't I go have another piece of cake? I feel like it. And it's all those easy decisions, and I feel like it, but you look at where that gets people long term, and it's not normally healthy. And for me personally, so when I was around 14, 15, kind of getting to that age, and then 16 and up to where I am now, 18, it was a thing where you're suddenly kind of worried about women, and you're like, oh, and you kind of suddenly interest. I don't know, when I was younger, obviously not focused on that. I used to always just play Lego, and I'd just sit there playing Lego. I loved it, whatever. And you don't really think about girls. You don't care. You just want to play your thing. You just want to do your thing, whatever. But you start kind of looking around and you go, oh, whoa, she's really attractive. I would like to go talk to her. I'd like to go get to know her. And normally what you do when you like someone and then they like you back, and it's like, you start dating. Wow, let's do what adults do, and let's get what you look at all the different things in things like Hollywood and kind of what the social media do, and those high school relationships are so glorified and so, wow, I wish I could have that. If I only had that person, then I would be happy. If I had that relationship, then I'd be happy. If I had a girl by my side, and I would be happy. And that's a common belief, and people get into dating. Or another thing is try before you buy. Like you do with a car, for example. You would, before you buy the car, you would check what's under the hood, you know? Take it for a drive around the block. And it'd be like, oh, why not? No, it's only relationships, bro. Like, but the difference between a relationship and driving a car in the block is the car, you park it there and there's no strings attached, you're fine, you're whatever. When you get into a relationship, especially when you're young and you're both immature and you don't even know yourself yet, you don't even know what are my goals, my dreams, and what is going to make me happy, what do I want to be when I'm older, you're not thinking about that kind of thing. You're just getting into it. It's just live in the moment kind of thing. That is not the way you should be going into a relationship and dating. If you're going into dating because you think that's going to make you whole, that is definitely not going to work. And if you're going into a relationship just because you want to see what they're like, I just want to see what I'm like with this person, and maybe we can work, maybe we won't. And if we do work, then that's awesome. But if we don't, it'd be right. People are buying gifts for themselves, for like the other person, and they're spending like $50, and like your kids, like the value of money. What, you're getting paid like $13 an hour, especially let's say you're 14, you've just got a job or something. You're getting paid like $13, $14 an hour, and you're going and buying like expensive gifts for this girl that you barely know from school, or your Valentine's Day, and you got all the happy feelings, and there'll be a little fight. Oh, she was talking to Billy down the road, and now you get jealous, or you haven't been replying to her text, and now she's suddenly concerned, doesn't think that you're right. High school relationships are such a big time waster, to say it bluntly, and they get to it, and especially when they're those long-term relationships and they lose their virginity to the person, they've got stacks and stacks of memories all with that person, and they get to the end of the high school and they're like, I only was spending my time with that one person when I could have been networking and getting to meet all these other people who could be my best friends now. You never know which people you'll get along with and which people you're going to connect with. And often what also happens when you get into a relationship at a young age, when you're both immature still, is you aren't connecting with other people, and there's potential males and females that you could be interacting with that you never know exist because you've got all this focus on this one glorious person, and then they're out of your life and you have a fight or a little breakup. And it's a missed opportunity. And some people go through all their school, they do their formal with their formal partner, which is their girlfriend, and you break up, and all those photos from formal, all those memories, like, what, are you going to keep them up on your wall, the picture of you and your ex? Yeah. So that's point 3, avoid high school relationships. As controversial as it might be, I've got another video coming out not soon, but avoid high school relationships. My 4th point is find what you're passionate about. And that might sound like really basic. Again, all these are basic lessons. I had to look at 1,000 different things that I could have, if I could go back and tell Jasper when he was 13 and go, man, you need to know this before you're 18. They are simple, basic, but crazy, powerful, and important lessons. And that's why the 4th one is find out your passion. And you might be in a place where you know exactly what your passion is, and you go, man, I just want to be a doctor when I'm older. And that's awesome. That's awesome. If you're going to uni for 7 years and get a high paying job and make my parents proud, that's awesome. And if that's what you're passionate about and that's what you enjoy doing, then go do it. Man, I would die if I had to do that. But if that's what you're passionate about and you enjoy it, then chase after it. But you might also be in a place where you don't know what you want to do, and you're going, oh, I don't know, I wish I just didn't have to work. And there's a lot of people like that though, and unfortunately there's a massive pressure while you're in school. There's a massive pressure while you're in school to know exactly what you're doing. So what are you studying at uni, buddy? So what are you doing next year after you graduate? That kind of thing. These are questions, even if you're in grade 9 or grade 8 or whatever, you're in a lower grade at the moment, or you might be in grade 12 about to graduate, whatever. They're questions that will pop up, and people expect you to have it all planned out. And so what are you doing with your life, so to speak? And it's really hard to not have all the answers. And I remember I used to always go, oh yeah, I'm going to try out. For me, personally, I am passionate about acting and entrepreneurship and wanting to get into doing, potentially making my own business or something in the future, being wise with my money. That's something I'm passionate about, and acting. So because entrepreneurship isn't really a common thing, and people are like, and it's so uncertain, and obviously it's not very well looked upon by teachers and that kind of thing, I'd always go, I'm just getting into performing arts, going to NIDA and whatever. I'd say that. And obviously, for example, NIDA is the acting school. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do that. Man, to do that, you've actually got to audition and get in. I would kind of just come up with this scripted answer and come up with, I'm just doing this, just to kind of fob them off, because there's a massive pressure to know what you're doing. And you may not know what you're actually passionate about though. And people can't handle that. Well, you need to figure it out, mate. You're going to be an adult soon, and you got to have this and this. And when you turn 18, you do cross an invisible line where people are expecting you to know more, to do more. You're still kind of treated like a kid, but you're expected to behave like an adult and fit into the laws of society and the kind of different invisible rules or unsaid rules, you could say, that society places on us. And you don't know. And you're like, man, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know what I'm passionate about. And this is my biggest advice of finding out what is my passion, what am I passionate about, is you've got to try new things. And that is something that it didn't hit me for a while, and I had no idea for a little bit, but you got to try new things. And so for me personally, it was doing soccer. I was playing football, soccer, whatever you call it, where you're from. And I was playing that because that's something my dad was really passionate about. And I was playing football, and I enjoyed it, and there was that bit of exercise, whatever, and you get the team and whatever, that kind of thing. But in the end, it wasn't what I was passionate about. And becoming the next Ronaldo or Messi, obviously I was looking and going, the chances are like this. But it wasn't something that I was passionate about. And obviously what I'm currently looking at, wanting to become an actor, again, that's like this, the chance of becoming a real high paid actor, and or starting your own business, man. Businesses fail every year. Like, these are crazy dreams. But the biggest difference between them and soccer is I'm passionate about entrepreneurship and financial freedom and acting. They're the things that I'm passionate about. And how did I find them out? I found them out through trying different things. So, for example, after I was doing soccer for a bit in that, I was looking, okay, I've got 5 other days of the week, I could be doing stuff, whatever. And I went and tried out at a little drama group, and it was like a little homeschoolers drama group. It was nothing special. I was homeschooled and used to do it there. And we would do little things like voice projection and speaking in front of other people. And it was something that I suddenly went, wow, I actually really like this. I love putting smiles on other people's faces. I love entertaining other people. And that was where it kind of went from. And for the example, the entrepreneurship and financial freedom, I was looking at YouTube. There's a million different things. Look up career options and going, man, I really love the opportunity and the flexibility. It's crazy hard work, but the flexibility that if you can pull it off, making your own business can do. The freedom in the future, if you can break through those humps of real difficulty and uncertainty and break through those times, there's massive potential there. And for me, that's what I'm passionate about. And I found them out by trying new things. And for you, it might be skateboarding. For you, it might be chess. You know, it could be something. You might be, I don't know, it could be a book club. I don't know, whatever. And then you're like, oh, so how can I turn a book into making a career? You might like reading books, and then you can go on YouTube and do book reviews. Go do book review. I kid you not. Go and do it. And that's how simple it is. Find out what your passion is. Because if you don't, you go through life looking and all these different things and go, oh, I wish I had that. Oh, I wish I was happy, whatever. Find out what makes you tick. What makes you come alive. I highly encourage you to start. And if you're not sure, try some different things. Try martial arts. Go try something. Yeah. My 5th and final point was, remember now is only for a short season. And this is my final point. And if you've been watching this long, thank you so much. I love you. I support you. And yeah, I really appreciate you. And the age up until 18 really is a short season. And it's only for a couple of years. And I think I remember up until about 13, each year used to go like an eternity, and it used to feel like so long. And, oh man, I don't know, because you haven't got things like jobs and school. You just go to school, whatever. And then yeah, we're on holidays. We're gonna play Lego and we'll go to a theme park with mum and dad and the fam, whatever. And then we're back to school, and I don't know, it was just like everything felt like an eternity. Oh, Christmas is finally here, whatever, that kind of thing. But I remember I finally got to 13, and I was like, whoa, time's going fast, time's going quick. And those days where I used to sit up in the shed, play with Lego a bit more, and there'd be a bedtime, and then you go do it all again the next day. It was just these kind of timeless days. And I found once that you get to 13 and kind of beyond that, every single month was whizzing by. They'd go slow and it's a bit hard. But you get back and you're, holy hell, it's May already, kind of thing. We're halfway through the year. And that has been me since then. Man, the time until you're 18 is so short. The period is so short. Make sure you're maximizing it. Make sure you're using it to your advantage. Make sure you're doing things that you'll look back on. Make sure you're creating fond memories. Things that you'll look back on when you are 40 and you've got your own kids and that kind of thing. That you can look back on and be like, man, I had a good childhood. Man, I had a good childhood. I was so blessed. I made good decisions. I'm so proud of myself. And obviously there's always going to be situations and things that are unavoidable, and everyone comes from different backgrounds, and we've all had some people have had some real messed up things happen to them when they're kids. And I'm not talking about having some perfect childhood, but at least you can look back and go, man, until I was an adult, I used my time wisely. I'm proud of the people I hung out with. I'm proud of the decisions I made. I'm proud of the time I spent on different things, whether it might be gaming or hanging out with people or your girlfriend, whatever. You can look back on that and go, man, I'm so happy. You can reflect back and go, I can't imagine it any other way, you know? it's so short. It's so short. A time where you're younger and you're not worrying about your career so much, and you might just work a little job. I was working at an IGA, where you just get enough money just so you can like go buy some stuff with your friends. You want to go to Time Zone, go to the movies, whatever. It's just that those kind of times, they go so fast, especially 16, 17, and now I'm 18, almost 19. And it goes so fast. You look back on it like, wow, breezes past. So make sure you're enjoying it. Make sure you're enjoying it. Have fun, do things, try new things, especially. Like I made sure I graduated 2021. So I graduated when I was 17. And I was like, after schoolies, I'm going to jump out of a plane. That was something I wanted to do. I was like, man, I want to say that I've jumped out of a plane. And some people might be really scared of heights, and I'm not super keen on heights. And when you're jumping out of a plane, kind of free falling, you're thinking, I hope this parachute works. But getting over that and conquering that fear, so to speak, I wasn't super scared of it, but I wasn't feeling super keen. You know, you still get that adrenaline. Like, man, I look back on that going, wow. I'm so glad I did that, you know. I'm so glad I did that compared to if I stayed at home playing COD, you know. Stayed at home on my phone scrolling TikTok, you know. I am so glad. So make sure you're using your time you have now wisely, and make sure you're creating memories that you're going to look back on fondly. Like, man, childhood was absolute pleasure. It was a dream, you know. That's my 5 things I wish I knew before I was 18, and this has become a longer video than I thought it was going to be. But everything I said, I wanted to say, and I feel like it needs to be heard. And I'm going to be making some new videos. I'd love feedback below. Let me know what you guys would like to see, because this is just me talking about my experience, things that I wish I'd had other people maybe tell me. This is Jasper, going out.